Well, I think one of the things that's been most eye-opening for me is understanding the nervous system research about connection versus protection mode. Now, we've all heard about fight or flight, which we know is going into protection mode, right? But one of the big contributions of polyvagal theory has been the observation that when the nervous system is not triggered into protection mode, when it's in a normal state, it's in connection mode. And this has so many implications. So first, let's just think about kids. This means that when a child feels safe, they're in connection mode. They laugh, they play, they want to contribute, to help, to cooperate. That's their natural state. But as I mentioned, when kids don't feel safe, when they're in protection mode, they're in fight to fight off that threat, or flight to run away from that threat, or freeze to play dead so the threat won't get them, right? The rest of the brain and nervous system, the stuff they can access when they're in connection mode, that goes offline. They can't learn, they can't cooperate. When the nervous system is in protection mode, everything has to focus on reestablishing safety. So the parts of the brain that relate to the immune system, digestion, learning, it's all partially suspended. The alarm system, the amygdala, high alert. So when the child is in protection mode, they are ready to fight, flight, flee, or freeze and play dead. But they're not ready to do the things that they're called upon to do in their life, where they have to do what the teacher or the parent or somebody else is asking them to do. They're not even ready to play, and they can't learn. And of course, this is not where we want our children to be spending much of their time, in protection mode. Now, you may be wondering, how often is your child actually in protection mode? How often are they in danger? We used to think that the nervous system would only shift from connection to protection when somebody was actually in danger, right? You don't go into fight or flight if there's no reason to. But now, from studying the nervous system, we know that a person can feel unsafe, even when objectively they are completely safe. So remember, I mentioned neuroception, which is the nervous system continuously scanning for cues of safety or danger. Deb Dana, who has adapted polyvagal theory to trauma treatment, says that the nervous system is always scanning inside us, outside, and between, meaning between us and our significant others. So the nervous system isn't just scanning the environment for cues of danger. It's also scanning inside our own bodies. And it's also scanning what's going on between us and important others. In the child's case, that's the parent, since that's the person they depend on for survival. So maybe the child notices loud voices on the television. That's an external cue of danger. Or maybe the parent is stressed and distracted, so the child perceives them as being a little dangerous. They perceive that as a danger, and that's a between cue. Or the child might feel increasingly hungry. And, if you get hungry enough, that's a danger too. Or the tag in the shirt keeps rubbing their neck, and they look at the parent, and the parent is warmly interacting with their sibling. Remember, our nervous systems are constantly scanning for something that is currently dangerous or could become dangerous. Most cues are of future danger, right? It's not that there's a tiger right there. It's that we heard a noise in the brush. So that's every cue about what's going on inside us, outside us, or between us and someone else. And it even includes cues of danger from the past. So anything that felt scary in the past. So if the child, let's say they had a medical experience where they fell down and got cut and they had to get stitches on their arm. Now, every time they fall down or every time they see blood, if that was a hard experience for them. For some kids it is, and for some it is, and it depends a lot on lots of factors. But let's say that this child was traumatized by their medical experience. Now, anything medical could be reminiscent of that and could trigger their nervous system. So simply being sick could trigger their nervous system and make them feel like they're in danger.